Hello again. In this video, we will talk about pattern feature. To start a sketch on the top and draw a rectangle and give it the following dimensions. Now extrude it with 10 millimeters. Then start a new sketch on this face and sketch a circle. Make it horizontal with the origin here and set this distance to 90 and give it a diameter of 5 millimeters. Then extrude it. Make sure to have this option activated and set the extrude value to 10 millimeters. Now from the ribbon, select linear pattern. As we did in the sketch environment, we need to select the direction. So direction 1 will be this edge, for example. You can define the spacing between the instances and let it be 25. And the number of instances and let it be 8. Now go here to features and faces. We need to pattern this feature. You can select it from here or you can select it from here. Reduce the number of instances to 8. As you can see, we have 8 instances. Then finish the command. Now edit the feature and this time go to instances to skip and you can select any instances you don't want to appear in the 3D like this. Now edit the feature again and click here, then clear selection. Go all the way down until you find instances to vary and activate this option. Now as you can see, we have the diameter value and the height and the distance between this cylinder and the origin. So now if you want to vary, let's say, the diameter, click here, then select this dimension. And as you can see here, we have the dimension, the value, and the increment. So set this increment to 3 millimeters, then hit OK. Now finish the command. As you can see, this is 10 in diameter, this will be 13, this will be 16, and so on. You can define a negative increment, define minus 0.5, and then hit OK. Now you can define 2 increments together. Click here, then select the height and set this to 2 millimeters. Now, so we have the increment diameter in negative and we have the increment of height in positive. So this is all you need to know about linear pattern in one direction. Now edit the sketch of the first extrude and set this value to 200. Now open the second extrude and edit the definition. Select this point and now delete this relation. Now drag this a little bit here and delete. Then define a distance between the center point and the edge, let it be 20, and define another distance between this edge and this cylinder, and let it be 20. Now let's go back to the pattern and edit this feature. Now we have here direction 2. You can open it and select the direction. This time I want this edge to be my direction 2. I want this to be 30 and the number of instances I want it to be, let's say, 5, but this time you need to reverse the direction like this. increase this number, and now hit OK. Now we have a pattern in the other direction. Now edit the definition of this pattern and go down until you find instances to vary. Here we have instances to vary in direction 1, and here we have instances to vary in direction 2. So you can define an increment in this direction. So select this field and now select this dimension and set a value here to 2. Now finish. So we have an increment in this direction too, in the height. And now edit this feature again and go down, click here, and this time choose the diameter value and set an increment of 2 millimeters too. Then finish. Now let's see what happened. We have 2 increments in this direction, the diameter and the height. And the same goes this way. We increased the diameter this way and the height too. For now, we are talking about feature pattern. As you can see, here we only have this as one body. Now let's go back and edit the definition of this cylinder, and this time remove this feature here. As you can see, we have a problem now, because now this cylinder is a separate body, since we have 2 bodies here. So it's not a feature anymore. That's why you need to edit the definition of this pattern and go down. Now it's no longer a feature. We are talking about a body. So activate this, and this time select the cylinder and hit OK. Now if you look here, we have 49 bodies. So SolidWorks treats this as separated bodies. Now edit this feature again, and as you can see, this option is no longer activated. Now finish this, and this time edit the definition of this sketch, delete everything here, and select a corner rectangle and draw a square and give it the following dimensions. Now let's edit this feature, and this time remove this edge and remove this one. We are still talking about bodies, so for the first direction select this edge, and now let's see up to reference. So for the reference select this face, so our pattern will go all the way up to this reference. And here we have 2 options, centroid and selected reference. Now we are talking about this body. So centroid means the reference for this body will be its centroid, and the other option is selected reference. So for now, let's select this face. So now for the pattern itself, this will be our reference, and for the body, when dealing with the body, this face will be our reference. So now you can define number of instances. Let's say I want 3 instances. So this reference will be brought all the way up to the second reference here. If you increase the number, it will be the same. Instead of defining number of instances, you can define a distance. So let's say if you want 45 millimeters distance between them, it will calculate the number of instances. Let's say 35 or 37, and this will result some geometry not to be on the reference exactly. So this is useful when you know the number of instances, and then you can make sure this reference will be here on this reference. Let's apply it to direction 2. Now instead of selecting this edge, let's select one of the datum planes. So this plane should be perpendicular to the line you want to select. Now I wanted to select this edge, so the front is perpendicular to it, so this will work, as you can see. Now let's flip, and now up to reference. So this will be my reference now, and I don't want a centroid, up to selected reference, and this time I want this face. I want a number of entities, and I want it to be 4. Now hit OK. The good thing about this method is that whenever you modify this plate, everything will be modified. Let's see how. So let's say I want this to be 400 now, and I want this to be 300. As you can see, everything was modified after modifying this plate. Now, suppress these features and start a sketch on the top. Draw a circle and let it be 300 millimeters diameter. Now extrude it to 10 millimeters. Now start a new sketch here. Convert this edge and offset this edge to 5 millimeters, but reverse the direction. Then hit OK. Now extrude this to 4 millimeters and keep merge result option activated. Now select the front and start a sketch. Go here to hidden lines visible, and now select corner rectangle, snap to this line and snap to this line here. Set the following dimensions. Finish the sketch. Go back to shaded with edges and extrude. This time, for the first direction, select offset from surface and select this surface. Reverse the direction and set the offset to 5 millimeters. So this extrude will start here and it will end up 5 millimeters away from the surface. Now for the direction 2, offset from surface again, and this time select this surface once again, and the offset, let it be, let's say 8. Finish the extrude and go to linear pattern. Now we want to pattern this in this direction, and that's why we need to select the right plane. But here we need to talk about something new. Let's talk about geometry pattern. As you can see, the pattern is a feature pattern. That's why we have this option here, geometry pattern. Select this option, and this time reduce these to 10 and set this distance to 27. Then hit OK. When we selected geometry pattern, this extrude was taken the same as it is here. SolidWorks took the same shape and patterned it. Now, edit this feature and this time deselect this option. Then hit OK. Now what happened is that with every instance we patterned, we kept the end conditions. We have 5 millimeters offset from this surface here, and we have 8 millimeters offset from here. So with every instance, these distances are maintained. So this is the difference when you pattern with the option of geometry pattern selected and not selected. When not selected, SolidWorks try to maintain the end conditions. when selected, it only patterns what you select. This option doesn't work with body pattern. Let's see this. Edit this feature, and this time deselect merge results, then hit OK. Now we have a problem here. Edit the definition of this button, and now we need to clear this selection and select bodies, and this will be the body. Now as you can see, we no longer have this option here, so we only can use it when we create feature button. Now hit OK and suppress these features. Now on the front, start a sketch and draw a center rectangle. And give it the following dimensions. And in the middle, draw a circle. Now extrude this. 5 mm is okay. Now start a sketch here. Draw a center line from this point up to here and draw a circle. Now extrude this circle and keep merge results option selected. Now let's talk about a circular pattern. Select circular pattern here. So for direction 1, we need to select a cylindrical surface or a center line. So in this case, when you select this cylindrical surface, automatically the center line of this surface will be the axis of revolution. Now, features and faces. So we want to pattern this feature, and the number of instances, we need 10 instances. You can change this angle, let's say 70, and you can control the number here. You can reverse the direction, and you have this option, instance spacing. Let's say we need 7 instances, and the angle between each instance and the other one will be 20. So this will give us 7 instances, and the angle is 20 between each one. So let's say we need 4 instances, and let this angle be 270. Now what applies in linear pattern about instances to vary applies the same here. You can choose the diameter or the height of the cylinder and give it an increment over the pattern. Edit this feature, and this time deselect merge results. Now we are talking about a body, so circular pattern. For direction 1, select this surface, and here we need to select bodies, then select the cylinder. Finish the command. That's it for linear and circular pattern. They are the most used pattern types. In the next video we will talk about other types of pattern. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.